Welcome to Cisco Live.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Booth. My name is Brian Felt and I'll be your host today. We're recording this at Cisco Live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Cisco Live certainly being one of the most anticipated shows of the year, and this year no different. I am super thrilled to be joined by two great guests with me today. We have Mona Chadha. She is Director of Global ISVs for AWS. And of course we have Neil Anderson. He is VP of Cloud Infrastructure and AI at Worldwide Technology. To the both of you, thanks for taking the time out of a busy schedule and joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, so lots of news, headlines, announcements coming out of Cisco Live. A lot of it had to do with the two letters that everybody's talking about, AI. Our clients are certainly experimenting, trying to progress those AI journeys, but one of the things they're trying to grapple with certainly is how are they managing those workloads? So no better person to answer that question than right here. Mona, how are you seeing and how should clients think about managing those workloads for AI?
So, I mean, look, we're talking to customers every single day, and they're asking us, like, how do we manage our workloads? How do we prioritize? Give us guidance. And so lots of times we look at their environments. One, obviously talk about AWS and really understand running those workloads in the cloud. And so what we've done is we actually created a three sort of pillar approach to how we recommend customers manage their workloads. So in the first there, you got to have the compute power, right, to go run these workloads, to run large language models. So you got to have that. So we have GPUs like Trainium, Inferentia. So we have chipsets that we have around there. We also have capabilities around Amazon SageMaker, right, that help you build and deploy any sort of model that you want. The next layer that we have is Amazon Bedrock, basically. So customers, we want to give them choice, right? So a lot of customers are like, we need choice in terms of which LLM, which foundational model to use, right? And so what we have is the ability for customers to have their choice of, Anthropic Claude or Meta Llama or any open source if they want. So what we do is we provide them that flexibility through Amazon Bedrock. They can integrate that into their applications. And then the next layer that we have is all around the application layer. And so those are things like Amazon Q, so these are agent assist, these are AI assist tools that really help customers accelerate their AI into their applications and build that out. I think the other thing that we really manage, and what we hear a lot from customers is, I have data sitting everywhere, right? You hear this a lot, right? Whether it's on cloud, on-prem, in hardware, right? Sitting at the edge or in IoT devices, and they have data sitting everywhere. How do I make logic of this data mess that I have? So I think that's a really critical part that we help them work through, and we also leverage our partners such as WWT and other ISV partners to help them through that. So that's kind of how we think about how to manage kind of their AI journey and how to get them started.
Yeah, based on some of what Mona just said, and then understanding where our clients are coming from, what are we hearing in terms of AI workloads and how they're trying to navigate that?
Yeah, a lot of customers are in different phases of this, right? Some are still grappling with what use cases are going to be the biggest value to my company. Others are farther along that journey and they're trying to figure out, all right, how do I bring this to life?
Yep.
And I look at it as, just like people looked at cloud for agility, how do I get myself to go faster and innovate faster? AWS is doing that for AI. I can move faster into AI because the platform's there, it's ready. I don't have to worry about, well, where am I going to run this? Where am I going to build this? Do I have the data center capacity for that right now? Probably not.
Right.
AWS is a great option. I can get started right away. I can get into the AI platform and I can start building real applications to show real business value with agility, just like I did for cloud, right? If you think about it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, recognizing that data can and probably should live in multiple places, and you guys have touched on a little bit of the relationship between hardware, cloud, as it relates to AI. What types of questions do organizations need to be asking themselves to make sure and be confident that they're making the right decision?
Yeah, I think, I'll start, but I think that one, they got to get a sense of where does all their data reside. So stop, with the data silos and really start getting the governance in the, I would say, the discipline, right, in the organization. to really align and figure out, well, where's the data? Let's get that organized and stop kind of creating these data silos, get rid of that. So I think that's kind of key. And then figuring out kind of what you were talking about, which is around, well, which use cases do we want to prioritize and how do we get there? And then, which ones are we going to accelerate to the cloud? Not everything is going to be in the cloud.
Right.
And so how do we get some into the cloud and what does that journey look like? And then we need partners to go and accelerate that for us. Now we have the tools at AWS, but we need the partners to really help provide that sort of best practices and also the frameworks and the blueprints to get that going.
Yeah, one of the things we've seen in prioritization of use cases is some of those highest value use cases end up being, we got to put those on the back burner a little bit because our data is not ready for it. That's something we consider when we're helping customers prioritize, is your data where it needs to be and is it ready? If it's not, you got to kind of deprioritize that and move to places in your use cases where your data is ready, right, to be able to ingest in the model and do something useful with it.
Well, I did want to touch on Cloud Marketplace, which I know is becoming a more preferred model for a lot of our clients, especially as more solutions, more vendors are added to that ecosystem each and every day, it seems like. What are you seeing from just your perspective in the industry as it relates to Cloud Marketplace?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of customers really embrace and accelerate more and more of their procurement through AWS Marketplace. And a lot of that has to do with I would say all the benefits that it gives you. So, there is the traditional I get to draw down on the PPA. Everyone says that, but that's not the only benefit. The benefits are multiple. So one, it really does accelerate procurement. One of the things that we've done is we've added standardized contracts. So some customers are I don't really know, what are the cloud terms and conditions that I should be leveraging? Okay, great, we help sort of build that framework with ISVs, with channel partners, with the customers, so now it's all agreed upon terms. That's really helped to speed up procurement, because no one wants to sit there and negotiate a contract, right? Come on, no, that's not anyone's favorite task. That, and then the other area is we have something called vendor insights, where, think about it, a lot of these enterprise customers especially, they have to figure out, well, which vendor do I want to use? And they ask for things like, give me your HIPAA certification, give me your SOC 1 and 2, give me all this data. Oh my God, I got to do that for every single customer. The ISV partner has to issue that documentation for every single customer that they have. We've helped to streamline all that. So you're just uploading it once and you're enabling it for specific customers to view. So because of capabilities like that, we really help to accelerate just sort of procurement. I think the other thing is just, look, we've learned from WWT, I would say, that we didn't initially start the marketplace with the channel in mind, right? I mean, you know this. And then what we said is, well, that's a huge miss. So we worked with WWT and we worked with our channel partners to say, how are we going to, and customers are we need these partners and we want to procure through these partners. So, and there are trusted value, advisors. So we built that in too. And because of all that, because of the innovation that we've developed with our partners, we've actually been able to accelerate it. And customers see it and they're like, you know what, this is the channel, this is basically the, I would say the mechanism that we want to use in order to speed up our procurement. And then just the benefits of being able, as a partner, you can speak to it in terms of the richer deal sizes that you had, so I'll turn it over to you, but we're just seeing tremendous growth, and more ISVs are joining the marketplace across, not just the usual categories like security, networking, database storage, but also business application providers as well.
Right.
So it's becoming a pretty substantial part of the way that our customers, our AWS customers, are leveraging and buying ISV solutions, partner solutions, and services, as well as they're able to get visibility across their AWS environment as well.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. There's a bit of emotion around there's a financial benefit.
Yes.
I can draw down my
Yes.
EDP,
Yeah.
right? But what we're starting to see is that shaping up into a more holistic procurement structure, right? I can think about a cloud project, not just the AWS spend, but I need some firewall spend. I need some other things, right? I can think about that more holistically as my cloud project and my cloud spend.
Yeah.
And that helps accelerate, because if you think about it, I could sign a contract with AWS, I could start migrating, and then I could hit a stall and say, oh, we forgot about securing it.
Yeah.
So now we have to go and talk to a security vendor and figure out how to get them. If you think about it, if you can think about it all at once, it can accelerate your migration because you've got the right things in place to govern it, to secure it, right? And we're seeing that. As a partner, we're seeing great benefit from Marketplace because just looking at our numbers, the first 15 deals we did on Marketplace this year with AWS, 9 of them were net new revenue for us, where we would not have transacted that deal. So we're tremendously excited about that because it helps us grow our business. And then the final thing that we're excited about is being able to position services. So you bought the AWS spend, you bought the firewall spend, now you can contract with us to turn all of that on for you, right? And that's huge. To be able to connect those dots is huge. And it's more difficult to do that outside of Marketplace.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the other thing is getting that cost visibility. So as a customer, I have visibility now into like all the different third-party solutions I bought, all the services, all the AWS side of it. So it's like, so now I speed up my migration, I get the cost savings, and I have full visibility. I mean, what more can people ask for, right? So yeah.
I want to get back to AI a little bit here, and Neil, I'll start with you. You know, WWT has invested heavily in our AI proving ground. So I do, Mona, want to get your thoughts on that in a minute, but Neil, maybe just for those that are unfamiliar, what is it, why is it, and you know, how does cloud start to play a role in that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big challenges is there's a lot of options out there. You mentioned this. There's tremendous confusion. The options are changing every day. And so we foresee that customers are going to need to have somebody help sort through that noise. Like, what should I really do? How do I make this a reality? Part of that is I'm going to build it on premise. For whatever reason, I've got that, security could be something, right? We can help them define that architecture. If we decide and we think that cloud is a great option because it helps you get there fast, right? We can also help sort that out. But bringing together all those technologies, whether it's where's the data, what storage do I need, what high performance compute do I need, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud, how do I size that? What capacity do I need? Like those kind of questions are what we're looking to answer in the proving ground. We're publishing every day as we're learning these different options and the different technologies that are coming out every day, whether it's NVIDIA or it's AWS or whoever it is, trying to keep up with that pace for customers so that we can get directly to, let's make this real for you, right? Which is the ultimate aim of the proving ground, is to get from PowerPoint down to what is real. Let's make this real, let's start impacting your business today.
Yeah, and just from your perspective, we're of course always looking for feedback. What type of role do you see that environment playing, specifically as customers are trying to understand that role and the shifting and the knobs of cloud in the whole equation?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's super important because, like you said, making it reality. Lots of times things on paper don't translate in reality. And so having this sort of proving ground to get these these proof of concepts going and then put those into production, they really help the customer solidify, yes, this is the right approach, or maybe not, and we need to pivot to something different. So I think I'm a huge fan of testing and then understanding and failing fast and then rebuilding if you need to. So I think that it's very important, especially now because, look, everyone wants to do something with AI, but people are like, I really don't know what to do. I think one of the other things that the Proving Ground is doing is building a repository of all these different use cases and basically blueprints and best practices that you can now share with customers to say, well, you're in this industry, you want to think about better way to accelerate predictive maintenance so you can minimize your product defects or accelerate production or whatever. Here's a use case that we use. Again, you're not sharing any IP, but here's kind of a blueprint that you can operate off of.
Right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. We may have tried that out with another client. We understand what the art of the possible is and how to put the pieces together for the problem they're trying to solve. Or we may not know. And it's like, hey, come in the lab with our data scientists. Let's figure this out together. Let's see if this is feasible. The art of the possible, which is also what the Proving Ground is about.
Well, certainly AWS plays an important role in the AI proving ground, but that role figures to even accelerate. WWT and AWS recently signed a strategic collaboration agreement, which is very exciting. The two of you, Mona, maybe we start with you. What does that mean, and maybe more importantly, what does that mean for our clients?
Oh my God. So A strategic, a strategic collaboration agreement. Basically, think of this as we're building strategic initiatives, transformative initiatives for our end customers. That's the genesis. We think about use cases. How are we going to deliver that to end customers, and how are we going to package that up so it can be more scalable, so we can deliver it to even more customers. That's how we think about these SCAs. And one of the key ingredients is looking at builds. Like, what are the use cases? How are we going to build it out? And then coming out with then I would say a scalable go-to-market motion. We put funding around it, we put resourcing around it, and we come up with, collectively, together, we figure out, here's sort of the direction we're going to go with, here are the customers we're going to work with, and we come up with different sort of pillars of how we're going to, like, what are the key initiatives? Obviously, one of the key initiatives is AI. This proving ground is a huge aspect of that. The other thing is around marketplace, is another key area. So these strategic collaboration agreements are huge for customers. It's important for us to do these because ultimately the customer benefits from the end solution that we deliver together. So transparently, we have only delivered SCAs with our most strategic partners, so WWT being one of those. And honestly, it is, I think, what we're delivering in this SCA. It takes, it's over a period of time, period of years, but the ultimate benefit is really for our joint end customers.
That's a great way to say it. And you mentioned marketplace as a part of that, AI as a part of that, adoption. A third is around migration, and a fourth is around computer vision in the cloud.
Yes, yeah.
Leveraging AI, how can we accelerate that for customers? And we're working on that jointly together, which I think is tremendously exciting. There's so many use cases for computer vision, and partnering with AWS on that, I think is just going to accelerate you, and it's going to accelerate us.
Exactly.
It's just like it feels like a real partnership to me.
Well, zooming out a little bit to what we have here in the background, let's talk a little bit about Cisco Live. What announcements or maybe conversations you're having around the hall here have you energized? Have you excited about the future? Could be AI, could be cloud, it could be security, it could be whatever.
I would just say that yes, AI is always a big sort of component of it, but I think just the excitement of there's so much more that we can do, and the opportunity is just huge. And then some of the announcements today specifically around security and how we're amplifying that, and especially with the integration with Splunk.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, just the opportunity. I don't know that there's a partner like between Splunk and Cisco. Wow. That's just a dynamic duo, and that combination, I think everyone is very energized about what that's going to deliver in the future. And actually, not even in the future, in the next few months, right? Next few days. So I think we're all really excited about that, and just our customers coming to us and asking us about, how do we get going on this? How do we incorporate Cisco and Splunk into the conversation? And then I'm sure you're getting the same thing on the partner side. So
right.
We're getting a lot of just enthusiasm from our customers. A lot of the announcements that were made, this week, I think have everyone wanting to rev up even quicker. And so we're like, okay, great, it's time to go. It's time to go. We got to get going on this faster.
Yeah, two things that struck me were security and AI, right? Leveraging AI to build better security,
Yes.
and vice versa,
Yeah.
right? That's a big one. And I think the security threats are only going to get more intense. Deep fakes.
Yes.
We all have to get a lot better and a lot smarter in a hurry about security. And AI, I feel like, is going to really be a big accelerator there. The second one was around Thousand Eyes and the partnership that Cisco's got with you on AWS to give visibility end to end.
Yes.
Jonathan called it digital experience assurance.
Yes.
Huge. We've been partnered with Thousand Eyes since before Cisco bought them. Huge fans of that because it really does give you end-to-end visibility from the user all the way into the AWS cloud, and really pinpoint for the IT department, like, where are the slowdowns that I can change that digital experience in a positive way. I think that's huge.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I think the Thousand Eyes integration and how they've been built on AWS, so that really helps to give that visibility. I think you're spot on there. And I definitely love the point that you made around security and AI. That is definitely, like, to your point, it's security and AI, it's blending those two together, but then to your point, I think there's a lot more, security is going to be even more in the forefront of the conversation. And I think AI is going to help that, and in some cases, it's going to help us innovate even faster. There's going to be tons of changes in this market. AI is going to help accelerate some of those changes, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a scary way. And we're going to have to be on our toes to figure out how that works, and that's why I think also the Thousand Eyes solution gives you that visibility so you can pinpoint, hey, that's going to be an issue, let me go and address that right now. So it gives you proactive. So I think with the capabilities that were launched this week, it really helps customers get more proactive versus reactive, which is what it's all about, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Certainly lots of exciting times ahead, lots of opportunity. To the two of you, thank you so much for taking time out of the busy schedule
Thank you.
to join. And thank you so much to those of you out there that are watching. If you'd like any more information about the WWT and AWS relationship, you can head over to WWT.com. We have lots of great content and resources for you to look at, read, watch, and so forth. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.